You're welcome back. Now let's revisit that particular story about the suspension of award of routine maintenance contracts of roads to MMDAs according to the Urban Roads and the Roads and Transport Ministry. Let's speak now to Emmanuel Cherry. He is Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry. He joins me for a conversation. Thank you, sir, for joining me. Now, there's a moratorium on the award of new contracts for routine road maintenance. What does it mean for your chamber, for example? Hello, Mr. Cherry.
Hello? Hello?
If you can hear me, Mr. Cherry, I'm asking what this latest decision or the directive from the Urban Roads to MMDAs to halt the award of any new contracts for road maintenance works. What does it mean for your chamber?
Yeah, that's fine. It came as a surprise to us anyway, but notwithstanding that, to be honest with you, prior to the 2020 election, there were a number of contracts that was awarded, both in the road sector and in the building sector. So, as we speak now, there is so much contract documents circulating within the system that contractors are having challenges of mobilizing to go to site and start work. At the same time, those who have been able to mobilize and go to site to do work, they have raised certificate that should have been paid within the 90 days. But as we speak now, it has elapsed. So you realize that it created a lot of portfolios, the portfolios on the table of the government as we speak now. And then the contractors are the same people who are dictating, calling for their payments. So for us to at least have a clean table and a clean sheet, I believe the honorable things for us to do, number one, is to try as much as possible to absorb the liability within the system and then they start afresh altogether. But while taking this issue, there is one side of that we must also not forget about. Because if we talk about road, it's a very powerful component to making development, especially opening up the country. So what am I saying? I'm saying that because if you realize that, our farmers who normally do their farming at the part of the countries and thereabouts, they need to carry their produce back to the central market and what have you, so that at least you and I can get food a little fresh and cheaper to get access to. But whenever this happens and the roads are not being tackled, automatically those food are going to be left on the farmyard and then rotten. And then the fuel that will be in the system, the price definitely is going to be high, and then you and I will stay, the same person will be complaining. Okay. So whilst we are thinking about cleaning the sheet, we must also think of what? The hen and the egg issue, or the chicken and the hen issue, so that we see how best we can massage the two together at the same time. Whilst we are trying to clear the depth, let's try as much as possible to see what are some of the emergency rules that quickly we can tackle, at least to make the entire country open up to. So that is where the issues are. For us, we are for business. So if the job comes, we are ready to do. But at the same time, whilst doing it, we must try as much as possible to also receive our payment. Now, the government has defaulted so much. The liability on the table is more than 5 billion as we speak now. So they are thinking of what to do. And the budget approved for government as we speak now is something a little over 1.9 billion cities. And then you have a debt portfolio on the table, almost over 5 billion. So that tackles the issues that there's a challenge there. So I believe the directive is a good call, but all the same, if care is not taken, the coming days is going to be very interesting in the country because communities are going to, revoke and agitate because of the rain setting in is going to cut off some of the areas according to, the rainfall pattern.
I want to find out if, for example, there was any communication to your membership when this directive was about to be effected.
Not yet, but we had an engagement with the Minister for Roads and Highways, Honorable Kwesi Amakwata, somewhere March, April. We have first one in March and the second one in April. So all these things were teased out. There were some of the issues that we laid before ourselves, discussed them passionately, and then they're coming out with a directive. Because, to be honest with you, we are all trying to see how they can do to partner government in developing the country. But as we speak to the issues now, the people who are also paying tax also are calling for their quota. They want to benefit from the tax they are paying. They want to see things with their eyes. They want to enjoy their roads. They want to enjoy their infrastructure facilities. So therefore, while government is also struggling, you must also try as much as possible. As long as they are paying tax, then you must also think of what you can do to make sure that it mitigates
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Cherry there speaking to us. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry. They're speaking